The Whispering Mountain by Joan Aiken, Chapter 5. Another disappointment awaited Owen in the town. Mr. Thomas, landlord of the Boar's Head, told Brother Ianto that the two English peddlers, Bilk and Prigman, had sold their ponies, bought provisions enough for several days, and left town well before noon. "Miles off they'll be by now," he said, "and not sorry to see the backs of such a pair." Back in the cave, Owen and Brother Ianto ate the piccoos that Erebus had left. It was oat cake crumbled in warm buttermilk, but the buttermilk had grown cold. Then Brother Ianto said evening prayers, and they went to bed. Brother Ianto, lying on the rock floor, was peacefully asleep within 2 minutes, but Owen could not sleep. For what seemed hours on end he tossed unhappily on his mossy couch, staring with hot unseeing eyes into the dark. At last Brother Ianto's quiet voice said, "Try to get some sleep, boy, is it? Worrying will do no good with you." All Owen's misery burst out. "I'm nothing but a useless coward. I couldn't even guard the harp. Any of the other boys in Pennygaff would probably have been able to fight the thieves or raise the alarm. But what did I do? Get myself captured like a fool, like a baby. Erebus had to rescue me, and that's the second time she's done it. I dare say if those men had captured her, she would have found some way of escaping with the harp, and I'm sure she would never have let herself be forced to write those shameful letters. She would have died sooner." "No use to grieve over what is done," Brother Ianto said calmly. All you must think of now is how to right the harm. You are free, and that is good. After all, it was not the action of a fool to summon the hawk and send a message, nor that of a coward to fight with the thieves when you knew what you were bound to lose. "All I did was get my glasses smashed," Owen said bitterly. "Now I can't recognize the men if I met them in the street. Now I couldn't recognize the men if I met them in the street. And heaven knows how I'll get another pair of glasses. And without them I'm even more useless. I couldn't even get work." He broke off, biting his lip, but Brother Ianto exclaimed, "Glasses? You are needing glasses with you, boy? They got broken. Fool I was not to have noticed myself the short-sighted way you were peering about." Brother Ianto went on, ignoring Owen. "Bit of a coincidence, a bit of a concussion I thought you had, but glasses. Now I can have you fixed right before you can say, 'Hi, what you?'" "You mean—" Owen was stammering with excitement. "You know someone who can make them?" "Make them myself, boy. Maybe I even have a lens to suit you just now." He struck flint and steel, lit a rush dip, and showed Owen his working materials in a velvet-lined wooden case. Flat glass discs waiting to be ground into lenses. Some lenses already shaped, wires for making spectacle frames, and a variety of fine little tools and polishing materials. "Came to the right place, you did indeed," he said cheerfully. "Always interested in the optics I was, but in China I learnt a whole lot more. Wonderful clever spectacle makers, those old Chinese boys. Seems they have had the trick of it for thousands of years. Taught me a thing or two, they did. Now the old sun is not far off, poking his head up. Say my morning prayer, I will. Then we'll get some breakfast down us, and then I'll fit you up with a pair of glasses you'd be proud to nod to His Majesty King James in." The instant breakfast was done, they ate barra birch that Erebus had brought. It was delicious. A juicy, spicy raisin loaf. Brother Ianto set to work. First, he tested Owen's sight by making him hold his little book of knowledge at different distances and say when he could see to read. But since Owen, who knew the book almost by heart, found it hard not to cheat unconsciously, Brother Ianto wrote letters of varying sizes on the cliff with a bit of chalk and made Owen read those. Then he brought out different lenses from his collection and looked at Owen's eyes through them. Finally, he felt a reshaping, too, which he said would need only slight alterations to suit Owen perfectly. "See like an era, like an old eagle, you will." "But how shall I ever pay you for them?" Owen worried. "One thing at a time, is it?" Brother Ianto said. "The harp of Tier 2 is more important than paying for a pair of glasses, I am thinking." But the prospect of being able to see again seemed to Owen worth almost anything he could offer. Feeling so blind and helpless had been half his trouble. A new hope filled him now, and he sat deep in plans, while Brother Ianto carefully ground the lenses and polished them to a fine brilliance. Then he twisted wires into a frame and adjusted it to fit Owen's face. "Brother Ianto," said Owen while the monk was inserting the lenses into the frames. "Well, boy?" You said you've been in China. Lived there 50 years, Brother Ianto said. Fine and hot for my rheumatism, see, and Brother Twim and I began to pine for a sight of the old country, so we made up our minds to walk home, came right across Asia, and very hard going, but interesting, mind you, and the people most obliging. Didn't it take quite a long time? 10 years we were at it. Dear, there was a walk, but we had a lift at the finish. Saved the life of a gentleman whose coach had fallen into a crevasse in the Caucasus Mountains. And we did, Brother Twim, being a handy man with a rope, very grateful and civil the gentleman, and asked a friend of his, captain of a ship in the port of Smyrna, to bring us as far as Cardiff. So that saved us to walk through Europe, besides a couple of swims across the Bosphorus and the English Channel. A bit troublesome, those might have proved, Brother Twim being no swimmer. I suppose you didn't happen to meet with my father while you were in China? Owen said wistfully. Captain Hughes, on His Majesty's sloop Thrush. Indeed we did, and a fine man, Brother Ianto said warmly. Owen's face lit up. Met him at the port of Yingling, we did, when he was bringing supplies to relieve the pink-eye epidemic 10 years ago. Owen's face fell again. You haven't seen him since, then? No, my boy, the monk said kindly, but doing his duty, I'm sure he is, wherever in the world, so take comfort, you have a worthy man as a father. Yes, Owen said in a small voice. Come now, try these glasses, is it? Brother Ianto fitted the hooks over Owen's ears and the bridge across his nose, setting the lenses straight. Instantly the candle-lit walls leapt into focus so sharply that they seemed pressing on Owen's face, and he took a step back. Why, he said in a dazed voice, it's all so clear, far better than with my other glasses. How long have you worn them? 5 years, Owen said, joyfully running his head about the cave from all angles. Grown out of them, most likely. Now, boy, if you should have the bad luck to break those, not to worry, is it? But come you back to Brother Ianto. A couple of weeks more I shall stay here, for half the folk in Nantagadu seem to be needing glasses with them, and the steam in this cave have helped my stiff bones indeed. Where will you go then? Back to the old monastery at Pennygaff. Where else? Not much left of it now, Owen said doubtfully. Nothing but a ruin it is. All the more reason to start building again. Then, and quick too. Owen took a step forward, and the walls of the cave rushed to meet him, and the floor seemed ready to come up and bump his chin. He walked outside, and felt as if he could put a hand up and touch the brightest crags of the black cliff frowning above. Not so fast, boy, Brother Ianto called, hobbling out. Where are you off to now, then? I must go back to my grandfather, Owen said, for this was the resolve he had reached while Brother Ianto had been at work. I must go back right away and tell him how the harp came to be stolen. Good, Brother Ianto said, nodding. Straight thinking, that is. Up to my friend Davy Thomas at the Boar's Head we will go again, to find out if anyone travelling to Pennygaff this day. Quicker if you get a ride than to walk over Fig Hat Ben on your 2 legs, or maybe get eaten by wolves in the forest. Owen saw the sense of this, though he was longing to start that instant. But at the Boar's Head he had a piece of luck. An Englishman on a lathered horse had just stopped in the middle of the street and was shouting out a public announcement. Oh yes, oh yes, oh yes, if any of the loyal citizens of this town do know the whereabouts of His Royal Highness Prince David James Charles Edward George Henry Richard Tudor Stuart, Prince of Wales, ye are instantly to declare it. Nobody spoke at all. The crowd remained hushed in wonder, while the man, who was dressed in the uniform of the king's messenger, with a short staff, a three-cornered hat, and gold lace, very mud-splashed, repeated his proclamation. Then whispers broke out. Goodness to gracious, now, oh dear, lost can he be? Only fancy if His Royal Highness do be falling down a pothole. They do say the old king is ill, with him on his deathbed and calling for his son. There's pitiful poor old James III. Terrible it is, and not a soul can say where. By Prince